Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome to Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel and Christy. Here's the beautiful sketch that we were working with this month. This was chosen by Rachel. And here I go. I am working with a challenge from last weekend's Secret Not Secret scrap party. And this one was a challenge hosted by Daisy, who wanted us to create a layout using 3 different types of scraps within our layout. And the way when she was doing her live video showed us she was making pinwheels. And of course, now that I know how to make them, I had to do them myself and try them. And so I went ahead and cut my squares into 3x3 squares. And I'm just going and folding them in half, just like she showed us. And you fold you match up the corners, and then you fold them, and then you go ahead and use your scissors and you cut without cutting all the way in, so you don't, make it, don't break you need to be able to keep it a full 3x3 piece, right? So don't cut all the way in. And that's how you start the pinwheel. You then go in and fold the exact same corner of every 4 sides into the middle and match them up, and it creates a really fun pinwheel. So looking at this, how simple, right? I never thought to make pinwheels. I think I've done them once before, but never have I just been like, oh yeah, I should make a pinwheel. So it's nice to have it down, and maybe I'll try to remember to do it again in another video coming up soon. This is kind of my second take of this using this sketch. I attempted to do it on Monday, and this weekend actually, but the video I posted on Monday, it was my first attempt with those photos, and they were photos of my son's birthday from this year, and I just could not make it work. And so instead I took the photos and turned it into a completely different layout that I'm super happy with. So I'm really glad that I went ahead and chose to do that with the photos instead of tried to force this sketch on them, because I don't think it was the right fit. And so now I'm attempting again. And this time I'm going without knowing what my photo is. All I know is I have to have 4 kind of 3x3 squares going on. And then eventually I need to have a longer, 6x4x6 type area to help follow the sketch. And that's all I know. That I don't really have anywhere else to go other than that's what I need to do. And so you can see me playing here. I'm trying a few different things, trying my glossing bag, filling it with some sequins. I'm trying to do tons of things. And though I like the idea of these sequins, I don't know. It wasn't really working with the pinwheels. I think had I been using it on something else without already a really fun element that was kind of taking your focus away from the sequence, it would have worked. So I do attempt it, but that's not going to stay in my layout. I end up changing it up to do something else, but you can see I did attempt it. And there you can see I found a photo, and originally my idea here was that I would use not just that photo, but also the photo of my daughter. These were taken on the same night, and they were both just sleeping soundly, and they were from around Christmas, because I went to put them in my December daily saying all is calm. I think it wasn't the night before Christmas, but it was close enough that I was putting it in there as if it was Christmas Eve for my December daily. And I love these photos, but of course the photo of Nora doesn't match the vibe I'm trying to do it, so I was going to hide it. But as I'm going around and trying to figure this out, that baby love, it's a bluey color more so than a greeny teal color, and it's not really jiving for me. So that's going to go away, and I'm just going to go ahead and focus in on this one photo of my son. I love this photo. I like the angle of it, and he's sleeping on top of his fox still. He still has his foxes, you guys. He's 4.5 now, almost 4.5, and he still loves these things. He doesn't take them with him, like he doesn't have to take them when he goes places. He just has them at night, but it's cute and sweet, and I just want it to be something that we remember, because he just loves them so much, and he's got 2 of them. And so whenever I catch a photo of him with them, even though this layout has nothing to do with his foxes. I just love that it's in there. It's just a neat little nod to something that's so dear to him. And so anyways, what I end up doing is I find this my boy in this airplane. And that really made me say, you know what? I definitely need to just focus in on this photo of Jackson and document him and have a great layout just of him. I've done a lot of Nora layouts lately, and just because it's been kind of that season, almost like the brighter pinky colors have kind of been more out for me to use, and so there have just happened to be more opportunity to scrap Nora versus Jackson. But this one, it's gonna work here. And so I really like this my boy. I'm trying to, again, you see I'm working around with these 4 squares, trying to figure out what I want to do. I wanted to add this airplane. I thought it was cool, even though it had nothing to do with the photo. It doesn't make it on there. But what I do find is this little magical moment sticker from the Carousel collection from Maggie Holmes, and it's the exact same teal color as that pinwheel. So I'm like, bingo, okay, that's what I'm doing with. And you can see I am just kind of moving it around, figuring out where I want it to go. I've thought of a couple different things on titles and everything. I then think maybe it would be a neat idea to use this beautiful, I love this pattern paper. It may be this black and creamy white, I don't know. It might be my favorite piece of pattern paper I've seen in a really long time. And I've hoarded it for that long just because I'm like, I don't want to use it up. So I was thinking that using it as like just an added little layer would look really neat. And there is that in the sketch, but the problem is it was taking the focus away from the pinwheels and I didn't like that. So instead I'm just going to use the offcut that I had and use it as just another layer for the photo mat. So now the photo is on a yellow, which is backed between a teal, which is really hard to see. You just see little tiny pops of it, but I wanted there to be something there. And then that awesome black and white, which is a good nod to the fact that I've put black hearts on the pinwheels. Okay, so I'm starting to be like, oh, this is starting to work. I figured, why not try to add one more pinwheel in, and that can be my 3 pattern papers scraps being used for the challenge. So I go ahead and cut one out, and I'm cheating a little bit because this is a Project Life card that I'm trimming down, but I don't have a lot of Project Life cards and I'm trying to use them up, so I'm considering it my scrap. And I really love this now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out a heart from this paper again, because again, I love it so much and I didn't want to use some of that full sheet that I had. So I'm just cutting it out right in the middle. And this is where I get the idea to change up my idea of the sketch a little bit by taking the photo and moving it down into the middle and then having the pinwheels up top and the pinwheels at the bottom. So it's kind of like a top and a bottom and a footer and a header type thing. And I'm so happy with the way that looks for me, especially with my eye and the way I like things to look. It's just more pleasing to my eye and I just liked it a ton more. So I'm going to go ahead and fiddle around a little bit. And what I liked is with this heart, adding that my boy was just a nice little pop down there. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. Rotate my photo, add that magical moments to my photo so that there's something there as well. And then I'm like, well, I've got 2 things with, little sayings. I need to add one more. So I went into my chipboard sheets and found this Love You to the Moon and Back. And that is going to go on top of that other pinwheel. And of course, I'm taking that heart off because I want to be able to use it on another project. And there you have a nice visual triangle of little sayings. So I'm digging this a ton. This is much more pleasing to my eye. My final steps are going to be to add a little bit of mixed media. It's not a lot, and all I'm doing is adding some of my shimmers, and I believe this is called textures. I've had this forever, and it's old, like it barely spread. It took me a while to make it work, but my stencil is just stars, so you're kind of repeating that kind of dreamy feel to it. And you barely see this. It's really just a little thing that you kind of see poking through, but you really have to look for it. I mentioned this before, I'm really into stuff like that where I'll notice it because I know I did it, but you have to really want to look at my layouts to see these little pieces, and that's my favorite part about scrapbooking. I love doing these little things. So I went ahead and did that, and then I was brave and used some black shimmers to make black splatters. For some reason, me and black splatters do not get along, so I don't do them very often, but this one thankfully turned out okay. Most of the time I feel like it just looks like mold, to be honest with you, but this one ended up turning out just fine. And there you have it. I went off and dried it all off with my heat gun. And then I glued it all down. And what I'm going to do now is back it with this really fun check, which is a Making Homes pattern as well. And then my final touch is adding the word sweet memories in these fun gold, they're almost like rose gold glitter stickers, and that wraps it up. So super pleased with the way that this layout turned out, and it follows the sketch a little bit. You get the idea of it, even though I switched it up. Please make sure you go check out Rachel's take. She posted on normal schedule, so go back to Saturday if you haven't seen it already, because her layout's fabulous. And we will be back next month with another lift and another sketch for you. And if you have any questions, please leave them below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. You're going to have one more look at the sketch here so you can see how I just kind of switched it up a little bit to make it work with my photos. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.